What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. It's our Wednesday night edition. And tonight we're going to have a conversation, and we want to include all of you in this conversation. And the conversation, the topic is the end of the world as we know it. There's a lot of apocalyptic stuff out there. You know, how many movies and television shows are based on apocalyptic kind of fantasies, if you will, and it's very disturbing and very sad, and definitely scary. It gets a lot of traction. And then on Saturday night, and many of you, of course, were there, many of you watched the show, we had a wonderful show dedicated to the great Andrew Harvey. And we love Andrew, and it was a tribute to this man who's written 40 books. He's a contemporary of the Dalai Lama and just an amazing human being. And he had a terrible fire that literally destroyed his home and even killed his cat, his beloved cat. And he shared very honestly about his transformation, having gone through the purification of fire. And in Harvey's interesting and unique style, he was very passionate, and some of what he said implied a vision of the future that we're all going to go through the fire. We're all going to go through purification, and that this incredible, most painful, horrible, difficult thing is coming, and we're in it, and we're going to move through it. And a lot of you said, hey, Scott, what did you think of that? What did you think of what Andrew had to say? And I think almost everybody loves Andrew, respects Andrew, but we could interpret what he said in a very frightening way. And so I had already scheduled to do tonight's show with one of my all-time incredible favorite human beings, and I should right away put her on because she's my co-host for the evening, the wonderful Larisa Stow, who does not say things that frighten people. She says things that provide hope, inspiration, wisdom in her wonderful Larisa way. And we were going to do a different topic, and but we got talking, and she said, yeah, this is really alive for me too. So we kind of shifted gears and decided to do tonight's theme. Tonight's theme being, what does the end of the world as we know it really mean, and how do we work with that? So Larisa and I are going to facilitate the conversation, and we want to hear from all of you. So please put into the chat box your initial thoughts on this topic. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, welcome. It's great to have you with us. And hey, come on in and join us. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com globalpeacetribe.com. That's where you can learn all about our shows. And then click register for the new season. And this is a good time to do it because if you register for the new season, you will get the links to all of our shows for the whole rest of the year. For any of you who don't know, we do shows every Wednesday and every Saturday night. And our shows are always dynamic, sometimes filled with great luminaries, always wonderful music. And again, globalpeacetribe.com, as you can see behind me. And speaking of great music, we always start our show with my co-pilot, our house musical artist, our beloved Omashar.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Scott. And thank you. It's so wonderful to have Larissa with us tonight. I have this, whenever she shows up, my heart just automatically opens even more than it already is. And tonight's topic is very, I guess you could say it's controversial. It's when I was reading what tonight's topic was, it actually brought up in me, I felt my buttons being pressed just at the topic. And as a result of that, I'm going to sing a mantra now, and it's called Guru Brahma. And it talks about how the teacher Brahma and the teacher Vishnu and the teacher Shiva, they're all representatives of the source of all creation, the absolute one, the divine in all of us. And my panacea, I don't know if that's the right word, my lifeline to staying stable with all that is happening in the outer world is being connected always, consciously, as much as I'm able throughout every day with the divine source within me, because that is where the truth is held, not that which is falling apart. So with that said, let's do it. Let's do it. And this one should be good.
Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Niraye Shruva Vidyanam Vishade Bhava Roginam Guruve Shruva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Guruve Namaha Nilaye Shruva Vidyanam Vishadeva Varoginam Guruve Shruva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Niraye Shruva Vidyanam Vishade Bhava Roginam Guruve Shruva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Niraye Shruva Vidyanam Vishade Bhava Roginam Guruve Shruva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha.
Mhm. And so I'll give Omashar some twinkle, some love. Thank you so much, beloved Omashar.
Thank you, Scott.
And it's wonderful to see so many of our friends while I'm on gallery view. Harper Dellums is in the house. Mark Denisovsky, who's hosting this big event with Omashar in a couple of weeks. We'll be talking about that. And good to see all of you that are in the chat box. And Omashar will be back, both with his thoughts on the topic and another song. But I want to turn it over to my co-host for the evening, one of my absolute favorite human beings. I'm always just so lit up when she's with us. And for kind of her opening thoughts, here is Larisa Stow.
Scott, thank you. I feel the same way. I do. I just love you.
Mhm.
And I love, like, my heart is just feels so full. Like, after hearing Omashar, that was just so beautiful. I was enjoying that so much. Thank you for your medicine. Thank you for your commitment to sharing. It's just like you blow me away all the time because you have all these arrangements. As a musician, you show up with your arrangements and you show up with the such a full heart of service. And I just love
Thank
you.
you, Larissa. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Mutual.
And thank you, like Scott. I feel like this is a really important conversation to be having, because there is a lot of fear. And I'm sure that the baby going down the birth canal feels a lot of fear too, right? But it's also exciting. It's an initiation. We're going through something that's we don't know what's going to happen. People say, have all these ideas because we look on the outside of ourselves and we see the chaos, we see different things happening in the world, but we truly don't know. It's like a fork in the road. And the more we can open our hearts to what is unfolding right now and really like embody what we've been talking about for so long, which is being that love and sitting in heart-centered wisdom and living from heart-centered awareness. Like this is our opportunity to do that. So, you know, this isn't the beginning of people going through really intense things. We've been going through it, humanity has for a long time. I think the difference is now we're feeling it like on such a global level and we're feeling it together. So that can be a really good thing too. You know, that the fact that we're starting to awaken to this feeling like, wait, you know, there's things that aren't in alignment and our voices are rising together. There is an awareness, and before we can heal things, it has to come from the unconscious into the conscious awareness, conscious mind. And that's what we're experiencing right now on this planet. So that can be seen as a good thing. And which way are we going to go? We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. So how we approach that makes all the difference. And embodying what we've been talking about makes all the difference. So focusing on love rather than on what we're afraid of is like really like the ticket, you know.
Totally. I want to acknowledge Larisa for a moment. I've known her for many years, and she's always talked about how important it is to create community as we're going through this birth canal. We'll go with that analogy, which is a good analogy. We need community. And I can remember her years ago saying, I really want to create community. I want to have a place where we have land and we have water. Well, God bless her. She and her husband found 12 acres just outside of Sedona, Arizona, in Cornville. And some of us have been there. And she has been building community and a retreat center. And she also came up with these wonderful 6 global agreements, which I'll put into the chat box in a moment. But I'd love for you to share with our audience a little bit about what creating community has looked like and been for you. And you can also talk about the 6 global agreements while I pull it up and put them into the chat box.
Well, it's been super exciting to create community, and I have to say that I worked really hard on it before coming to Shiloh. I made a pact with myself that until I could stay heart centered and have what I like to call benevolent boundaries, because I think staying heart centered, it's imperative to have benevolent boundaries or you become resentful. I found myself becoming resentful until I really learned how to keep my heart open while saying, these are my needs. And I told myself, you may not have a retreat center, Larissa. You may not have that kind of place until you learn how to do this in Long Beach, California, on a smaller lot size with just a few extra people outside of our family. And that was a lot. Like that was intense, you know, for years. It was really intense to learn how to stay in my heart, to really stay in my heart while honoring my own needs, which isn't, you know, the easiest thing always to do. And I was able to take that learning, and I really did. Like I learned, and I'm still learning. Like I can't say that I'm perfect at it. But once I realized, okay, I can do this, you know, I can stay in my heart and I can speak my needs and I can hold these boundaries for my community without shaming other people, because we have very different ways of doing things in life, and from a place like a higher place of just love. And I finally got it enough that it was like, okay, it's time. So that brought me to Shiloh, and we have a bigger community here at Shiloh, and we really incorporate the 6 global agreements. I don't think, honestly, that we could be here in the way that we are and be always walking towards higher ground if we weren't working the muscles of the six global agreements. We come together um, every Wednesday. So right now, like after this tonight with you all, I'm gonna go with my community because every Wednesday night we break bread together and then we go through the six global agreements and we look at like how we celebrate the wins of how we're really working that in a way that empowers us, and then we also look at where we're challenged and where we're struggling so that we can help each other and support one another. So it's been a really like beautiful, deepening process. It's been a dream of my heart to do this because I think this is what's necessary on the planet. It's like if I can't live in community with others outside of my family, I don't feel like if I can't do it, how can I expect there to be that in the world? So we're doing it here, and my prayer is that we get it going so good that we feel so empowered and we've got those agreements like so in ourselves and our beingness that we can go out into the world as ambassadors of the six global agreements and teach other communities and work with other communities. I teach, I'm teaching workshops around this, but I would love to see my community like be able to go out and do that and then just spread this beautiful, I would say, framework for working the muscles of community, of healthy, thriving, heart centered community. So it's exciting. I love it.
I'm going to pull up. Here are the six global agreements. Can everybody see that? Okay. Do they show? Are they showing up? Okay. Great. And do you want to kind of read the highlights of each six, like the headline for each one, Larissa, and a little bit about each one?
Absolutely. I like number one, we plug into Source daily. So, and we don't have to be the same about how we do that. It's not an expectation that it looks a certain way, but plugging into Source, how do I connect with my heart? How do we, each one of us in our community, we place that as a high priority. Um, there's a group of us, I have to say it's the women in the community. We get together, we do some yoga together daily, we ride the dragon, which is an embodied meditation practice that opens the heart and connects us to source. Um, but others in our community do it differently than that. Like the men are a little bit different on how they connect, but we all place that as a priority because when we do, we are more heart centered, because connecting to Source daily is truly the practice of love. I mean, that's all that it is. So that is the first agreement. And the second agreement, what we do is we are really honest with each other. So we cultivate courageous vulnerability in our community. And that just means like completely taking that mask off and it's like laying it out on the line. So I really truly believe that humility is one of the highest unsung heroes. We just don't really talk about the power of humility. And when we drop into our hearts and we let people see our struggles, it really does transform the space. It creates this intimacy, for like myself. When I drop into that, it's like I have more appreciation for myself because I feel like I'm home within myself, and then it allows for more intimacy with my community. So that's a big one. And leading with compassionate curiosity, which is outrageously important. So in our community, we, rather than sitting from that place of I want to convince you, of my point of view, we come to our conversations with curiosity and we really work that muscle because that compassionate curiosity gives us that space to really receive where somebody else is coming from and like what informed where they were coming from, and rather than projecting that they don't know and that they're, disrespectful or whatever's coming up in our consciousness. It really just opens that up. Number 4 is practicing radical self acceptance. And, when it comes to community, this one's in there. You wouldn't necessarily think, well, this one's about the self, so why would this be a part of the agreements? And the reason this is a part of the agreements is because if we can't accept ourselves and all those parts that we don't really want to look at, like our anger, our jealousy, our need to be seen, like that can be embarrassing for us. These aspects of ourself. If we don't do that work with ourselves and have full on self acceptance, it's really challenging to be accepting of others. And I find that starting with radical self acceptance, what that does, because it's not always easy to have self love, but to start with, it's okay that I feel this way. I still love myself. I completely love myself, even though I'm having these emotions. That cultivates a space of compassion. And it's much easier to have compassion for others. Number 5 is respecting each other. And this one came about honestly, because of COVID and just watching that heightened polarity that was happening in community, and people that we love were really struggling in being able to hear each other and be respectful and being able to honor each other's beliefs, because people are coming from different places but still grounded in almost the same desires for safety. Let's just, as an example. So it's respecting each other is about really knowing that we don't have to agree with each other's beliefs, but we can be respectful. Like we agree to not call each other names. We agree to not generalize or dehumanize, which is easy to do, or objectify each other. Again, and then calling upon that curiosity and just having the awareness of, am I having this conversation to affirm my beliefs, or am I creating a space for deeper understanding and connection? And then number 6, which is my favorite, I must say, is is playing together. Is playing. And playing doesn't necessarily mean that it's just about like making music or getting together and going enjoying things together. It could be as simple as like, let's just laugh at life. Let's not take it so seriously and just be silly together. Like, that's the thing I'm finding at Shiloh, because we like to do play dates together and go and do fun things. But what we're presencing is like, are we laughing even when we are together? Like when we're, making our meals together and doing dishes together? Or are we putting on music and having fun in those moments of just being playful and silly with each other? So that really helps. Like I truly do believe, and I've heard this, I'm not the first person who said this, but I believe that play is one of the highest forms of prayer. Because it just raises the vibration, right? It's just like if I can laugh at myself and I can like literally laugh at what's happening, like when I'm not like necessarily showing up in my highest alignment, if I can have compassion for myself and laugh at myself and laugh at the situation, like, and how I'm managing it, it's just everything is easier, right? So, thus, yeah, it helps a lot. These really help a lot.
They're awesome. We've probably 3 or 4 times at least have done these on the show, and every time I read them, hear them, I'm just reminded of the simple truth and wisdom of
Yeah.
these global agreements. Yeah. A couple things I want to riff on, and then I'm going to read some comments that have come in from our audience members. Lately I've been doing a lot of coaching, and my practice is the fullest it's been probably ever. And the very first thing I look for in my clients is to what capacity can they self-reflect, and that's where I think it's goes hand in hand with the fourth agreement there. It's like, to the degree that we can practice self-love, self-respect, that we can self-reflect. And then from that place, then we can really, understand each other much more fully.
Yeah.
And I have a new kind of thing that I've been presenting to couples or families that I work with, which is anytime we're entering what could be a difficult conversation, we should only have two goals. One is mutual understanding, and the other is to grow closer through that mutual understanding.
Yeah.
I've really learned that if we make those our two goals and we don't start the conversation until both parties have really thought about that. Okay, is my goal mutual understanding, not to be right, not to make the other one wrong, but mutual understanding and to grow closer through that. And I've just found that if we set that intention, then it goes really, really, really well.
That's
So
beautiful, Scott. That is really beautiful. And when you say that, it's like it's so simple and yet it's so profound. It's like the most simple things we when you're in your head, right? Which a lot of us are, because we're taught that way to relate to the world, beta brainwave, and remembering the most simple things that bring us back to our heart. It's like we got to write it down, right? We got to like even though it's simple,
yeah.
it's not always easy to remember because we tend to go into the mind space, and it's bringing ourselves back into the body, and that's just brilliant, bringing people back to
Well,
those two.
you're brilliant too. So, okay, I'm going to read a few comments from our audience, and then we're going to bring a couple of you on, starting with Ashleigh. Um, Eleanor Joy is excited that Piper is in the audience, and so am I. Susan Bloomquist writes, super good advice for living in response to your agreements. And Grace Denise wrote, what wonderful agreements. And Susan also really appreciated making each other laugh. Reverend Jeffrey writes, radical acceptance of what is, then move in the direction of love. That's Lovolution, the greatest gratitude to exist. Absolutely. Omashar wants you to make songs out of the agreements. Eleanor Joy writes, I always appreciate these agreements, Larisa. They are pivotal. My gratitude for, to you for that.
Mm.
Desiree, who we're going to hear from, she's going to lead our prayer tonight, writes, connecting with Source daily is really a practice of love, in reference to your first agreement. Eleanor Joy writes, one of my tools with my personal stuff or global stuff is to ask, ask, ask for guidance and clarity. So beautiful. I'm going to call upon a couple of our audience members. I'm going to start with Ashleigh. She's actually been a presenter on this show before, and she is a wise woman. Welcome back to the Awakening World, Ashleigh.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. I loved everything that Larissa was putting down. I sent you a friend's request because I'd like to learn from you, your community building capabilities. I just think that's phenomenal. And that's my wink link. My strong suit is the human body. I understand it as a hologram. And when I read your email, it inspired me to come on. I thought maybe I have something to offer. And I was thinking about how the mind, our brain wants to protect itself. So naturally, we're going to navigate towards those old stories. We can't really get rid of them, but we can override them. So I like to remind myself my mind is a tool. I choose my thoughts. And when Larissa was presenting and she emphasized connection to source, every morning I like to bring that in. I connect with that source, but we go a little bit deeper. I move into different areas of my body. So, for example, my brain. I command and I consecrate this organ of my body in service to the Most High, to my source. And then I do the same with my heart. And then I do the same with my reproductive system, my sexual organs. And I have found that I have way less interference when it comes to negative thinking or impulsive actions and decisions when I take those steps and align my whole body with source. I call it the body matrix. And we know reality operates on wavelengths. So whatever we watch, whatever we pay attention to is what we're fueling. I like to eradicate that and give it no attention. Just focus inward, asking myself how good could it get? Because there's a lot bubbling up to the surface. But then we have a lot going really well. Like what Larissa just shared with her community. That would be a point of focus. That would be a point of reference. How good could it get?
Yeah.
What if we could? Why not us? And that's where we direct our attention away from the atrocities in that direction.
I love it. Yes.
This
That's
is how
it.
we do it.
This is how we do it. That's exactly it. It's like, where are we going? This is where we want to go.
We're
You know?
going somewhere we've never been. How good
Right.
could it get?
Right. And if we do it, no matter what's happening, in the world around us, it's like if we're the ones and we're doing it and we're going to higher ground, like those elephants during the tsunami who are taking people to higher ground, we could be those elephants,
It's your
right?
consciousness. Your consciousness is moving to that higher ground. Wherever
Yes.
you are, however you are, hold your frequency. Your mind is a tool. And wiggle your fingers and toes so you know your nervous system. If you're triggered, if you're activated, if you're having that fight or flight, wiggle your fingers and toes. It's like the simplest thing, but it works so well. Yep.
And we can do this like we're clapping, right? But it's with the fingers and toes. Like I love that. Thank you. That's
Well, you know
beautiful.
what that is? It's pattern disrupt. And what we want to do is move from the reptile brain, quick biology lesson. When any of us were first conceived, the very first thing formed, the first 24 hours after conception, is what becomes the reptile brain. It's the oldest part of the human body. It's anthropologically ancient. It goes back to the time of the dinosaurs. And so then by the time we're fully grown, it's in the back part of the brain. And when we get triggered, when we go into fight or flight, it's because something has happened that has scared us or triggered us. So we want to get back to the frontal lobe as quickly as we can. And a wonderful way to do that is through pattern disrupts, wiggling the fingers. Doing mathematical tables is a way that you could do it. That actually gets us out of reptile brain and into a different part of the brain. Or as Marshall Rosenberg taught, dropping into what am I feeling and what am I needing? I'm feeling scared, I'm needing safety. And that self-empathy, he calls it the emergency dose of self-empathy, also can bring us out of however we're spinning into our frontal lobe and into that more centered space.
And Susan says, shake it off. And that's one of the things I love to do. And Eleanor Joy says, yes. And I like, I literally just,
Yeah.
shake the
Too.
body and make silly sounds because making the silly sounds, the ridiculous sounds, then the laughter comes from that. And that's really awesome. So shaking and bringing
Shake
forth
and
that
shiver and
silliness.
dance and quiver. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And I love this. I love this. It's good. Good stuff.
Actually, thank you so much for being with us. And I love what you had to say. Maybe you'll share a little bit more later on. We are going to go to Connie. And then after that, we're going to go to Piper Dellums. Connie, I know you've got some wisdom to share. Camera's on you.
Hello, hello, family. Wonderful to be here pondering this question that Andrew Harvey has put in front of us. And it's wonderful to hear Ashley and Larissa speak on tools for shifting frequencies, for going with the journey to heaven on earth and peace on earth. And I just wanted to say that for me, that there, and I put it in the chat, a talk I gave in 2006. I mean, I've been at this a while, in Sedona, the secret purpose of history, that every action actually serves the higher frequency of the coming of peace on earth and the lower frequency of the illusion of separateness and scarcity and fear that we've been in the vibratory level we've been in, and created all the systems that we have and behaviors as a result of that information. And so every action serves that level, which is very obvious that what's going on today, that those behaviors are serving, I mean, the things are happening at that lower frequency that we are concerned about and afraid of. But what we have to understand is that those actions are serving that frequency, and there's another frequency that's leading to peace on earth and heaven on earth, and the consciousness of unconditional love coming to understand itself through our choices, our free will choices, that it's key that we understand that everything is a result of free will, that we and where we put our attention, what vibratory level we're putting our attention on, and how we're feeding the collective consciousness with our everything we see, everything we feel and do and believe feeds that collective consciousness. So we have a responsibility for taking humanity to that tipping point where we bring heaven on earth, peace on earth, because there's now more information available to us at the higher frequency that shows us that we are one. If you listen now to the leading edge science, to the voices in this field that we're in, that oneness, that unitive narrative that Jude Currivan has come up with, that oneness is becoming our reality, and that veil is thinning, and we're soon going to see that we are one. And then also in this higher frequency, there's more abundance than we can fathom. So there's no more reason to have power and control over others and to have war and all that, because we're one and there's more abundance than we can fathom. So it's a whole new ballgame in the higher frequency. So I just want to share that in my world, we've made the decision, we've already made the choice, and we're playing it out now as far as individually and collectively what our reality is going to be. So we each have the free will choice to choose our vibratory level. And in doing that, we feed the collective and serve the coming of peace on earth and heaven on earth. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, Connie, thank you. And you've been living it for a very, very long time. So, thank you for being an elder, showing the way for us. I have so much respect for you and Andrew.
Thank you. It's an absolute for me. Absolutely everything serves the coming of peace on earth and heaven on earth. That's all there is. That's all there ever has been, and all there ever will be. So that's just me, and it's a pretty sweet place to live. So thank you.
Thank you for modeling that for us.
So
I had
beautiful.
a dynamic conversation. I was actually on a Zoom with Jude Currivan and other members of the Evolutionary Leaders just this morning. And I love how Julie Kroll calls what's happening. She pointed out that desperation seeks desperation, and that the old paradigm is desperately trying to hold on to the old way of being. And she said, our job is to be in hospice with it. She, just recently lost her father-in-law, and she was talking about, the death process, and seeing the similarity between her father-in-law, who's a very stubborn man, struggling with his body collapsing and not being able to function. And it reminded her of what we see in the external world, where the, forces that have been in power are desperately trying to hold on to power. It becomes more and more obvious how almost pathetic it is, really, and tragic for the people that are being, impacted by it. But I love her vision that those of us that are light workers that are committed, like Connie is, to the unitive narrative, our job is to hospice out the old way. So I thought that was a beautiful vision. We're going to go to Piper in a moment. I want to read what Reverend Jeffrey wrote, though. Reverend Jeffrey says, I cannot state it more clearly. The solution is 0-point energy. The energy demands of human civilization are unsustainable with current technology. The updated science confirms it is real. Experiments have proven it. It is what advanced civilizations use, our galactic family, and tapping into the energy source that powers everything is a total game changer. All right, Reverend Jeffrey has spoken. So let it be written, so let it be done. All right. We are going to go to Piper Dellums, who always has something interesting and fascinating and wonderful to share. And hello, beloved soul sister.
Hi, Scott. Hi, Omashar. Thank you for those beautiful well wishes. So, this really has been stunning and uplifting, and I fear that I have come with a very different vibration. So, I'm just going to stick to, the honest place where my heart is in this moment. And when I heard you, Omashar, speak about the concept being the end of the world, when I came on a little early, I heard you say that you wanted to sing the REM song, It's the End of the World as We Know It. And so I took it upon myself to step into the place where I am seated right now through the whole Charlie Kirk adventure, through the two young African American men found lynched in Mississippi yesterday. And I'm feeling something very different in terms of the end of the world. And yet I stand in absolute agreement with you, Connie, and with all of the rest of the spiritual ascension possibility. But I'm very much walking through the world right now in a very different way, I would suggest, than probably most of you. So I wrote it down this way. As you know, Scott, I always feel a little more clear when I put pen to paper. So the end of the world as we know it, with a little love consciousness attached. I said for some, that phrase is a punchline, a rock song, a shrug at shifting tides. It means the coffee shop closed early, or the language of the streets feel foreign, or the faces in the classroom mirror a world not built solely in their image. But for us, Black women, Native women, brown kin, carrying centuries of grief, it is not a metaphor, it is a memory. It is the auction block where a mother's cry was split from her child. It is the boarding school, hair shorn, language beaten out of us with a ruler. It is the Jim Crow rope, the trail of tears, the sterilized womb. The end of the world has come again and again for us, in fire and steel, in laws written like shackles, in bullets inscribed with hate. Today it comes cloaked in white hoods without the hoods, in suits signing laws that strip our bodies bare, in wages stolen, in jobs denied, in chants that march through night, streets calling us other, calling us less, calling us gone, an attempt to erase our history and an attempt to erase us. For them, the end of the world is discomfort. For us, the end of the world is disappearance. For them, it is the fear of losing dominance. For us, it is the fight to keep breathing. And still, we rise into the rubble. We braid new worlds out of ash. We sing our dead back into memory, our children back into possibility. We carry the world they said had ended, and we plant it again. Like seeds smuggled in our hair, like prayers carved in our bones, we know the end of the world. We have walked through it many times, but we also know that every ending is a lie when the people of the earth refuse to vanish. And yes, there are allies who do not look like us, who march beside us, who lift signs, who shout, who open the doors when ours are burning. Their courage matters. Their solidarity stitches hope. But even the bravest of them cannot taste the ash the way we do, cannot carry the weight of centuries in the marrow of their bones. They can fight with us, but they do not wake each morning to the ancestral smoke still clinging to our skin. And as the world tilts, as water rises and forests fall silent, as fires eat the lungs of the earth and storms tear the porous first, we know the truth. The end of the world is not a future prophecy, it is a present wound. The same systems that cut us down poison the rivers, strip the soil, choke the sky. The same greed that enslaves our bodies now devour. Strip the soil, choke the sky, devour the planet whole. So when we speak of endings, we're not only mourning our people, we are mourning the trees, the bees, the oceans, the breath of creation itself. But hear this too. We are not only surviving and survivors of endings, we are midwives of beginnings. Love is our stubborn weapon, our invisible shield, the medicine smuggled through generations. It was the love that hid the seed in the braid, that whispered the language forbidden, that racked the stolen child in memory's arms. It is love that tells us, do not harden, do not become what tried to destroy you. Love consciousness is not escape, it is clarity. It is the drumbeat in our blood that says, even as the world burns, we will not forget to sing. It is the knowing that freedom without love is another chain, that justice without love is another war. And so we choose, I choose again and again to love this broken earth back to green, to love our people into wholeness, to love ourselves fierce enough to keep breathing in a world that would rather we disappeared. This is not the end of the world, it's the beginning of the remembering. And love is the consciousness that will carry us through it all. So that is what the end of the world now means to me.
I anticipated that that you would share kind of along these lines, and I wanted to hear that, Piper, not because it's pleasant or comfortable, but because you do represent a very, very important voice that is being stuffed and silenced. I, in so many ways, they're taking down examples of slavery from the Smithsonian Institute. They are removing photographs that imply that there was slavery in this world, or in this country, I should say.
Yeah, and there are whites only signs going up throughout elementary schools and stores all over the South and the Midwest. In the last 3.5 years, we have 98,000 missing African American girls and women that no one has thought to look for. There's no Amber Alert. And 347,000 jobs of professional African American women lost in the last 5 months, including my own.
myself.
Those of us that have doctorates that went to Harvard and Berkeley and Yale. And so we are being erased and thrown away. So although I do believe that we are rising in this higher consciousness in this place, we are in a human experience, and we are experiencing it in a very different way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I love you, Scott.
And I love you. And I want us, as we talk about this, and it's actually perfect to have you in contrast to Connie, both very important voices, right? Because we do want to keep our eye on the prize, the
Yes.
rising of consciousness,
Yes.
while acknowledging the very real current human suffering.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know, one thing to remember is dictators never, ever last. They last so
Yes.
long, but they never last.
Yes. Very true.
Every dictator goes down.
Yeah.
And authoritarian rule, and that's why I kind of shared what Julie was saying about hospicing out and the desperate, just this incredible desperate attempt to go 2 years back in time.
Absolutely.
But it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Hmm.
So we have to see our
Yeah.
way through this very difficult time.
Yeah.
Tremendous compassion for you. I also want to acknowledge anybody who's brown right now, you know, and it's not even safe to go to the market, to go to Home Depot
No.
if you happen to have brown skin.
Absolutely.
You know, so I want to acknowledge that.
Absolutely. And I also want to embrace and acknowledge how much I love our global peace tribe and how beautiful it is to have this family, this reminder that love is still imprinted in the earth, that these seeds are still fertile. And I think it's holding this sacred place so that we don't give up, that we don't kneel down on the road and make a decision not to stand back up. And so I thank you, Scott, and you, Omashar, for this continuation of never giving up on humanity and on us as a family. And always embracing me as your sister. And I love you deeply for that.
I'm going to read a few of the comments that have come in, mostly in reference to what you shared, Piper. Ayada, who, by the way, we're going to celebrate Ayada's birthday a little bit later tonight. She writes, I am weeping deep inside, hearing all that you're sharing, Piper, both from the tragedy and horror. And because your words touch our hearts so profoundly, so deeply, you call our hearts forth. You remind us of what we are truly made of and the redemptive power of the human heart and soul. That as a species, we are still a work in progress.
Oh, yes.
Eleanor Joy writes, this family, also known as Framily in reference to Diara, is critical. Scotty Satori writes, steady the ship, stay focused on the mission. Susan writes, Godspeed for the dictators to go down.
Yeah.
Ashley writes, it is always darkest before the dawn. Eleanor Joy writes, you speak the truth so beautifully, Piper. And Carol Craig writes, I'm disgusted by the going in reverse of what I thought was progress. I cannot live with my relatives who are okay with what is happening with the current administration.
Yeah.
Claire writes, these are the voices of unpleasant truth that need to be heard, understood, and help in reverence. So thank you, Piper.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah. Larisa, I'm in a moment, I thought we'd go to prayer and then a Larisa song, but I wanted to see if there's anything you wanted to share in reference to Piper and what Piper just shared.
Piper, that was so beautiful, so profound, so eloquent, and how you share the grief, you know, of yourself and of so many, and while sharing your grief, you know, what I hear is that commitment to love, and I just pray that as a collective that all people that are right now who are feeling marginalized, who like you are feeling like they're being disappeared, I just pray that like you, that they focus on love, because I know it's like um, if we look at the microcosm as it relates to the macrocosm, like within our own bodies, our DNA is doing this spiral, right? And what the spiral represents, which is in the cosmos and in the galaxies, it's in the shells, it's everywhere. this spiral shows us that we are learning, but as we learn, we always come down. We contract before we go up. And consciousness hasn't completely gotten this yet. And I heard, Scott, you said that somebody said, I thought we were making progress. And the truth is that we are, but what happens is it always goes down. Do you get this lesson? Have you gotten this lesson yet? Have you embodied this truth, this wisdom at the deep of the deep? And right now we're being shown that we need to embody it. We understand it. Well, we know it, but we haven't completely understood it, meaning we haven't stood under that knowledge completely yet. Right? So it goes back down. The pendulum swings to the other side so we can see what's out of alignment. And your words are so important because you speak for so many people. And so many of my friends, my community, is experiencing so much fear around this feeling of being disappeared, and I just pray that for everyone who feels that way, that we can just look like, okay, we're deepening, but we're going to rise. We're going to rise higher in love because we are seeing the interconnectedness of all of us, regardless of our sexual preference, regardless of our color of skin. It's like we are the body of God. And we are hopefully awakening to that at deeper and deeper levels, But thank you, sister. Thank you so much, for using your voice and speaking what is hard to speak, but needs to be spoken. Thank you. You're beautiful.
I'm going to read a few more of the comments that have come in. Thank you, Larisa. And then we're going to go to our prayer, and then Larisa is going to bless us with some music. Ayada asks, Piper, could you please share here in the chat about the statistics of missing Black women and girls? I can't remember, and I'm feeling so much deep sorrow in this moment. Also a message for you, Piper, from Lori Ann Speed, Tatiana's mother. Dear Piper, I see your heart in the tears as they flow. I wish the world were different and that your burdens today were completely unknown. I'm just so sorry. Your pain and suffering is seen in this moment, and I thank you for including us in your suffering. Thank you, Lori Ann. That was beautiful. And Scotty's pointing out that Julie Kroll on the Facebook Live apparently is asking Piper to connect her. So I'll connect you with Julie, Piper. Christy writes, my heart aches hearing this. I remember when Karen S., who's in the Zoom room with us right now, shared her fears of the return of Jim Crow. I'm so sorry these old conditions are returning. And finally, Connie writes, yes, dear Piper, an insightful expression of a world out of balance, which has created the circumstances you describe. It has never been aligned with universal law, and now the love of the human heart brings new realities and ways of being. Carol Craig writes, I carry a deep wound of shame of my white race for the oppression exhibited towards so many different groups, but especially with Black people. I married an immigrant, a beautiful Black man who was privileged to enter into communities I would never have experienced otherwise. I witnessed such humiliation directed towards him, but his ability to be humble where I was outraged. I can never say how much this has touched me as a privileged white girl. And Karen S. writes, I just found out today that a college student in Mississippi was found hanging from a tree on his campus.
I just have to add the saddest thing about that 21-year-old college student, the police there in Mississippi, because it's not the only body, it was almost within hours. And they said, we don't know if there's foul play, but that young Black man had his arms and legs broken. So he certainly didn't climb up that tree with broken arms and legs himself. but yet it's still being investigated as we don't know if it's foul play. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good time for us to go into prayer. And leading our prayer tonight is Desiree. So I'm turning over to you, Desiree.
Thank you, Scott. Oh, that is a lot of heavy stuff, and that's a lot of hurt. So I'd just like to start there. Let's all join together and begin by taking a nice big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Asking that we raise our vibration, bring in the love, the joy, and the happiness we know is capable here on Gaia today. We know that that love is within all of us. Just within some of us, it may be hiding. So I ask that we bring in that love, that forgiveness, that higher vibration, that we turn to our neighbor with acceptance, that we turn to ourselves with acceptance, and that we begin to spread that everywhere within our communities. We forgive the past. We forgive ourselves. There we go. That's opening up the crown a little bit more. There we go. Very good job. And with that forgiveness, we allow that space for love. We no longer look at other people as different, but we see the oneness within ourselves, the oneness within our communities, the oneness within our neighbors, the oneness all around us so that we can join in that love together. There we go. I'm asking for the strength to rise above that which is not of the highest good and that which is not of love. I ask for learnings from the past of the things that not only that we have experienced, but also that others have experienced, that we no longer have to continue those patterns. Very good. I'm asking for healing for Gaia, for herself. As the forests and the trees and the plants breathe, breathing in that oxygen, or breathing that carbon dioxide to release oxygen, spreading that throughout the entire world, calming the storms, healing even the hearts of the plants and the animals, so that the things that we go to find our peace in, that there's more peace there to be found. There we go. And do it in a way that brings in that dear energy, that gentle, that kind, that supportive, that nurturing, that understanding, that patience. Very good. That inner knowing as well, the clarity. Beautiful. And I just want to take a minute to thank all of you. Each one of you that are on the call today, each one of you watching, and just appreciate the love that you have within yourselves. Appreciate that you take your time here today to join in community, to help spread that love, spread that awareness, spread that knowledge. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Desiree. Let's just all take a moment as we come together as family, as beloved DR calls us, sending love and finding within ourselves, what can we do to not allow what Piper represents, people of darker skin, to be silenced, eliminated, shut down? How can we embrace them, give them a voice, let them know that we see them, we celebrate them, we honor our brothers and sisters of color, and we stand with you through this terrible yet temporary wave of nonsense. Sending love and finding that passionate desire within ourselves to make a difference in whatever ways we feel called to do so. And with that, I'm going to turn over to my wonderful friend and co-host, Larisa.
Thank you, Scott. I just wanted to acknowledge Ayada's that she proposes that we make kind-hearted space for grief that we are all feeling, and let ourselves feel that as community, and not just rush into changing the feeling into love. She says the love will come as we embrace the horror of where we are at in our world, and just allow the grief to wash us, and thus create the opening in our hearts and spirits for love to emerge with grace. And that's really beautiful. Accepting, what is arising, and accepting the grief and allowing for that grief. Because our grief really is the measure of how much we do love. The depth of our grief is an indicator of how much we love. So wanted to share a beautiful song from Yogananda, a chant. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I've known this song since I was a child. It was brought home to me on a cassette tape from my parents visiting this community, a spiritual community called Ananda. And Kriyananda was a disciple of Yogananda, and he had made a recording of this song. And as a child, I always felt like the presence of Yogananda as a teacher who was looking out for me, that he would never forget me. And I felt that safety. But as an adult, what it is transformed into for me is I understand now that my soul, that the God within, the presence within, is actually what never forgets Larisa, and never forgets all of us and what we are going through, no matter what things appear like on the outside and what's happening on the outside, that we are never forgotten. That in love and in God, we are never ever gotten, and nobody can ever disappear us. Even as our bodies do. Even as our bodies, that we are loved at the core of the core. And I invite us to feel into our own soul and this mission that we said yes to, coming at this time on the planet right now, in the middle of the holy unmaking of what it means to be a human right now. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Swaha. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song.
Thank you, beloved Larisa. Thank you, beloved Yogananda, who I do believe is so there for for us and brings us together and is such a great soul. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Piper, again for presencing. Like you took us so much deeper. Really you took us deep. You took us deeper because it's like without feeling that peace and the suffering and without the grief, it's so that's what's going to bring the healing, is allowing for an opening to receive like how that affects you and so many others. And I just want to say, no matter what happens, history has been erased so many times. This is not the first time. But if we can all together, all of us who stand in this awareness that we are interconnected, that we are interdependent, and that we are the body of God, that together, that we need all of us. Those of us who truly remember that at the deep of the deep, it's like that is going to be what awakens us on that global level. And then we will never go back. We will never go back. We will get to that place where we will never go back to being disappeared, because you can't. It will all come out. All the truth will come back. All of it will. All of it will. With that love. I just want to hug you right now. I want to hug us all. I wish we could like just take each other's hands and hug each other and just like truly, like I feel us, this community right now.
Ayada writes, I agree with Larissa. Piper, I deeply appreciate the powerful truth telling you do with us. We need to hear what you share. So please know you do. We represent, just as Piper represents the part of the world that certain people in power are trying to silence, we represent the majority of people who do not want you to be silenced and want to hear what you have to say.
But we will never forget. And that's the truth. We will pass it down orally. There's too many of us now. So no matter if that happens, because we know the internet can just like change history in a heartbeat if it wants to, but we will not forget, and we will continue to share, and we will continue to be there for each other because we know the truth.
I think one of the most powerful things that you're speaking here is that it's impossible to forget or to erase or to delete when the truth is present. Because the truth is the only living force, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We just put prayers out to all of the children, to all of our children. I'm holding this nervousness for my daughters. I'm in this constant state of like, please God, keep them safe, So, for all of the children and all of the parents, that worry when our kids just simply get into a car, don't get pulled over, don't get shot, don't go down the wrong road, But I'm holding what you're saying, and I trust that. I really do. We just put up prayers for the children,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we knew freedom as children, didn't we?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we really did. Thank you, Paramahansa.
We're
Yeah.
all with you, and I I feel the same way with my daughter who is gay, like,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the fear that she faces all the time.
Yeah.
She how hard it is for her to walk down the street and hold hands with her beloved.
Absolutely.
And she has that fear too. And it's like, honey, I hear you, and we're rising in love, and we have to, you know.
Mm-hmm. We have to.
That's what will clear it, is just continuing to be, as
Mm.
Connie was speaking earlier, that vibration, you know, choosing our vibration, choosing the vibration of love. And no matter what, it's like the image of, when we see the image of the hippies and the cops, the soldiers, like, you know, that had the guns pointed at them, and one of them put like the
The
flower
flower.
right in it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the thing. That's the kind of frequency. It's like we see that and we are putting love right in it, because the
Love.
moment we don't is the moment we get sucked into the
That's
same
right.
vibrational frequency of that which we don't want on the planet. So
So
we want to
true.
be that and entrain that frequency, you know.
Yeah. And I think this is why these shows are so important, you know, because had Scott not said, I want to hear the voice of all of our family this evening, I would have dedicated a little too much more time wallowing in the fear, you know, and forgetting we're this one universal consciousness of energy. And we actually do have the power to shift this. You know, when we think about, you know, our parents and our childhoods, think about it. We shifted the Vietnam War. We shifted Jim Crow. We shifted the Equal Rights Amendment. We did it. We actually did it in a short window of time in the late 60s and early 70s. And we can do it again, you know, with the shift of consciousness. So thank you for that truth. You're so beautiful. I'm hugging you and I'm sending so much love to your daughter. I'm doing that too. Those are our squishy, those are squishy love fingers.
I know.
But I'm squishing you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I
Thank
send
you,
so
Pepper.
much love to your daughter. Tell her never stop loving. Never stop loving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
And your
getting through
daughter,
this.
your kiddos, it's like
I know.
all of us, and
I know. They're just going through it because they're also Jewish. And I told my daughter's like, I'm afraid to go to synagogue. What's going to happen at Rosh Hashanah? And I said, your grandfather survived Auschwitz,
mm,
you know?
yeah, yes, yes,
You keep going. You keep
yes. We
going. And
keep
I,
going no matter
sorry
what.
that I
That's what we
also
came
made
to
you
do.
brown. Like they got a lot against them. I know. But I'm like, just keep going. Yeah, we're going to make it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sister. Thank you,
Love you. Love
love
you,
you.
Scott.
Mm,
And I
thank
love that, Desiree, you're just putting prayers over all of us right now too.
That is exactly
I
what's
thank you.
happening. Clearing that throat chakra so we can speak that truth, raising that vibration, bringing that love in, just rip opening that heart chakra and going, here it is.
Yes, thank you.
thank you.
Everybody is needed. Everybody's medicine here is so needed. It's like all these different frequencies that are coming in. It's like we're weaving a tapestry of truth here together. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Scott, for your commitment to the bringing people together like this. You know,
Of
we so
course,
need
of
this. Thank
course.
you for continuing to do it.
And while we're on gallery view, I've got us on gallery view. Um, it's Ayada's birthday today. And I've asked her to turn on her camera. I don't know if she can, but she is in the Zoom room with us. And Ayada, where are you? I think you just turned your camera on. Did you? Did you? I'm looking for you now. Where are you?
It's not on yet.
Oh, it's not on yet. Okay. There she is. So Ayada, I'm going to put the spotlight on you for a moment, my dear, because you are such a precious, beloved member of our Global Peace Tribe. And so often what you share in the chat box is so relevant and so important. And I know your heart is bursting open because of your empathy for what Piper has shared. But we also do want to celebrate your birthday. And as you know by now, the Global Peace Tribe tradition is for you to share your vision for what you want us to hold for you for this next cycle around the sun.
Wow, thank you, Scott. It's kind of hard to speak right now. I just feel so deeply moved by everything that Piper just shared. Oof. I guess my hope or desire for my next year is the same as my desire for the world. And that is that we, as we're pulled down into the depths of these challenges we're facing, and I'm dealing with a lot of them in my life right now, that we grow in powerful ways that we haven't been able to before, and that we all support each other, that we reach out to each other, that we're deeply moved and touched by the kinds of things Piper has just been sharing. And it sort of breaks our hearts open, but it strengthens us as well. It unites our hearts and our community and our world. And so, yeah, may we all be on this journey of awakening together and supporting each other. And yeah, thank you, Scott and Omashar, and for this. This community is so powerful. Thank you, everybody. This is a big part of my life.
We love you very much, Hayata. Thank you so much for being with us. And happy birthday. How is your son doing?
He's going through quite a transition. About a month ago, he had to have about 4 toes amputated because of this severe blood infection. I won't go into the details, but yeah, it's profoundly changed his life. So, but he's in healing mode and working with it, and we're all doing our best to surround him and support him through it. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for all the love and prayers and support through this journey.
Maximum grace for you, Ayada. Maximum grace for your son in his recovery.
Thank you.
We love you.
Love you too.
This is International Peace Week. Saturday night's show is going to be dedicated to International Peace Week, and we've got an amazing lineup. Brother Phil, Jayoti Ma, Louisa Tish, and Cornflower will be with us playing music along with Omashar. But I wanted to share a little special thing from Becky Suzik. Becky sent this to me today asking if I would share it with our Awakening World audience. And here we go.
Pause the world for peace. Join May Peace Prevail on Earth International and let's plant your very own virtual peace pole. It's easy. Choose virtual, select if your pole is in a public or private place, add your location name, type, and website if you have one, enter your name and email, and join our email list if you like. Next, find your location on the map. Type the address, find your location, then on the purple bar, find and click OK. Now you get to make it yours. Upload a photo, maybe of you from Times Square. Write a brief summary about why peace matters to you. Give your peace pole a name and hit submit. That's it. You've planted a symbol.
I've paused this because the point is, if you get out your cameras and you point it at the QR code, this will take you to where you can learn what she's just been showing us, how to get your very own peace pole and plant it. I'm so proud of my peace pole. It's the very first thing when you enter our new home that you see when you come down the driveway. It's right there. And we all can now get our own peace poles. And it's really important for us to get peace poles, plant them in our homes and our front yards. So I'm leaving it up for everybody to get out their cameras and join the global campaign to plant virtual peace poles, as well as actually getting physical peace poles. You can do both, virtual and physical. So we love Becky Suzik, and thank you, Becky, for the peace pole movement. It's really, really exciting. And yes, Carol Craig saw Cornflower in a short reel. We're excited. Yeah, he was playing with Fish, the band Fish. All right, we're kind of winding down. If there are any final thoughts that anybody wants to share in the chat box, please do so. And I'm going to bring Diara up. As we were kind of in the green room prior to tonight, we were all talking about, as we were meeting, I said, oh my God, there's deer walking across my road right that I can look at. And then Diara pointed out that she's got baby bucks playing in her yard, as we can see. And Larisa mentioned that she had just seen deer. And so the question becomes, what is deer medicine? And the great Jimmy Sams, who literally wrote the book, Animal Medicine Cards, there it is. So, Diara, what would you like to share with us?
Sure, thank you. So, deer is gentle, and there's a parable where deer came upon this creature, and Fawn's eyes were filled with love and compassion for this oversized bully of a demon. And the demon was astounded by Fawn's lack of fear. No matter how he tried, he could not frighten Fawn because her love had penetrated his hard-hardened, ugly heart. And much to the demon's dismay, his rock-hard heart began to melt, and his body shrank to the size of a walnut. Fawn's persistent love and gentleness had caused the meltdown of the demon, and due to this gentleness and caring that Fawn embodied, the pathway is now clear for all of Great Spirit's children to reach Sacred Mountain without having to feel the demons of fear blocking their way.
Mm.
And there they are.
That's just such a perfect message for tonight about not allowing the fear to overtake us. And thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to add, Diara?
You know, I've been feeling waves of peace flowing through. I mean, like they're palpable, where it makes me stop and go, what is that? And there's this wave. And, I have to remind myself, because I vacillate, through the fear and the grief, and then coming back to what we know is true about higher consciousness. And it's such a journey. And I was thinking while we were sharing that, in the 1980s, we were told that anything not founded in integrity was going to crumble. And, here we are. In 2005, I wrote this channel that we were going to be ripping the Band-Aids off, that we had slapped Band-Aids on racism and differently abled and, all the isms, and that there was going to come a time where we were going to rip it off and dig deep into the gravel, to really clean out what we never finished doing. And I certainly didn't, see it coming to this. And, in 2017, in the Anthropology of Consciousness, their theme that year was, it's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. And it's like we knew something was coming, and we've been asking for it, but we didn't know what. And then in 2018, Paul Levy came out with Watiko, and burst that dam wide open. And then of course, from 2020 on, the world has not been the same as we know it. And we can feel fine, and we also are not okay. And that's okay to be not okay. So thank you.
Thank you, Diara. Thank you so much. Lori Ann Speed is with us. And when she is with us, that also means that the spirit of Mary Magdalene is with us. So, Lori Ann, I put you on camera, and Larisa and I and the group would love to hear what you'd like to share tonight. And you need to unmute.
Sorry about that. Yes, I was just saying thank you so much, and I'm really happy to be here with you all. And the message well, first a personal message, just in a comment, to add to the many comments, is just a simple message of, you know, there's been beautiful solutions and suggestions and gifts this evening. And the one I would like to presence is this idea of following our calling. And I feel like make no mistake, we are each called, and each uniquely called. It's different for everyone, from the very smallest to the very grandest dreams. We can live our sliver, and by listening, our sliver of gifts, like to this huge mosaic, and there's this still small voice guiding us in every moment. And I really have faith in this idea that we're here at this time, and each of us playing an important role. I'd like to just share a couple readings from Mary Magdalene, and that's what I have on my mind, Scott. Is that okay? I just, they're not long. So this is a direct transmission from Mary Magdalene, and it's very random. I just picked a random one, but it just spoke to me right away, and as something to share that may resonate with the group. And it goes like this: the time of the sacred feminine fully awake has come. There's no time to waste to bring it forward. Sound the clarion call. Women must join in ever-growing networks of influence. You must ignite in women the clear wisdom to move now, to move toward what is calling in their hearts, not in a patriarchal way by using the tools utilized for the survival of people since ancient times of competition and force, but by using the inherent feminine capacities of nurturing, the magic of intuition, and the hearing and following of divine guidance. It is with the support now of the divine that what is needed for life to thrive can be accomplished for your life, the lives of your beloveds, and the beautiful earth. The beautiful garden of beautiful garden of earth can provide for all its dependents. It was made for this. It is a harmonious system, intricately balanced. But it has been wrought delicate and fragile in the face of the destructive power now yielded by man. In the long-term absence of feminine wisdom, an imbalance has occurred. Going forward, listen for guidance. Rest in the moment. Love yourself fully. Love others. Radiate and express this in your world. Love as a path is the way. Bloom open your heart and bow to the altar that you are. Find in each moment a deep love and reverence for yourself and your existence. This will do more to bring about world peace and balance than the biggest armies marching. That's the end of that passage. If you like, I could read one more, or maybe that's enough, Scott.
One
Your
more
call.
would be wonderful. We would love to hear more.
Thank you, thank you. And they're just randomly picked, but it seems to segue, though this came at a totally different time. But she writes, she says, I hear, my intention is to liberate the sacred feminine, to facilitate planetary healing, healing of the masculine, and healing of the feminine. As the sacred feminine is liberated, it ripples out and liberates the sacred masculine. Together as kings and queens, they reign over their dominions, leading with wisdom and integrity. When you are predominantly feminine, you have access to all the latent and overt capacities and qualities of the female. Yet the feminine qualities have been denigrated and diminish to the point that the feminine has limitations in her ability to generate and express her gifts, herself, her life. The human scales are tipped toward a predominantly masculine view, and the world is now sinking under the weight of a patriarchy gone awry. Tipping the scales so far in the direction of the masculine has been at the expense of the nurturing and tending wisdom of the feminine in the modern world. The great mother in nature takes care of creation, but the patriarchal weight of exploitation and denigration in the name of survival, greed, and power, up until now, has had a deeply negative impact on planetary life. An aspect of the feminine quality is the inherent instinct to nurture and care for life. There are, of course, other qualities as well. Thus, we see that the balance of life on our planet has been sacrificed. The patriarchy as an energy force, not individually, has a dominant energy field and impact. Up until now, it has not had a healthy relationship with the feminine. And without a healthy relationship, the expression of the masculine could not be anything other than what you see today. How could it be otherwise? It is only in having a healthy relationship to the feminine that harmony with nature and creation in general could prevail. Thus it is, my intention is to liberate the sacred feminine, to facilitate planetary healing, healing of the masculine, and healing of the feminine. And together we rise. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorianne. It was beautiful. It's always wonderful to hear from you and to hear the wisdom flowing through you. Thank you. Karen S., who's probably been with us from the very beginning. I think she came in literally in the very first Saturday Night Alive, wrote something quite important for me to read. So this is from Karen S. She writes, I know that part of my mission in this lifetime is to help others navigate the changes that we are going through. I know that things will eventually get better on the other side of this current very dark time. Many think this is the end of everything, but I know that there have been massive changes and shifts on this planet a number of times before, and mankind somehow survived and will do so again, although it may get very uncomfortable during the shaking. That is what keeps me from falling too far into despair. And Pam writes, thank you, Karen. You share so much wisdom, and I'm grateful that we have you here on the Global Peace Tribe. And Pam, you speak for all of us, absolutely. I'm going to bring my wonderful co-host up one last time as we wrap up for any final thoughts that you'd like to share, Larisa.
I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be here tonight. It was so much more heart opening than I even expected. And I just would love to presence every single person, you know, Lori just sharing her piece, and Dara for sharing hers. I don't know if I said that right. Diara. Desiree and Piper, and saw that I froze there for a second, but it's like all these just beautiful, absolutely heart-touching, Omashar, you, just like, and can't remember her name, Ashleah, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it just, everyone, you know, all these beautiful weavings, Connie, and even everyone who spoke in the chat box. There's just so much love here, and there's so much understanding, and I'm sure there's different beliefs even within this group, and yet the support that's present, and the love that this is what we're doing, you know. This is what you started during the pandemic, and it continues. Like something really dark that we all experienced created something really beautiful. And you followed that, your heart song, you followed that calling. And I just know that if we all continue to do that, we continue to gather, we continue to support one another and open to each other and hearing, even when we have different ways of seeing and experiencing life, if we just open to learning and growing, you know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make it to that evolutionary leap, you know, that evolutionary leap, really, of new earth that we've been talking about. It's happening, and we're
Yeah.
birthing it. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing it.
I am going to bring beloved Omashar on. And I'd love, before we go to the closing song with Omashar, I believe you and he are going to be doing something this Sunday.
Yes, I'm so
th-
excited too with Omashar. Beautiful. Yeah, our
Okay, okay. You took the words right out of my mouth. And International Day of Peace Summit on this weekend on Sunday. It goes from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and it's echoesofone.com, which Scott has just magically appeared. And so I am hosting half of it. I begin around 10. I begin at the beginning, 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 9 Pacific, I think. And I come on and I play 25 minutes, and then I host for 4 hours. And Larissa comes on a little bit later in the evening, but it's a beautiful presentation put on that I'm really happy to be a part of. And there's many, many things happening on that day. Of course, there's Unity.Earth's also their 48-hour, 1 hour per location around the world thing happening as well. So anyway, choose us. And Larissa, take up the flow. I have no more words to say.
Well, look at this. I mean, this is amazing. On Sunday afternoon, all of our friends, we start off with Omashar. Then we've got Peter Sterling. We've got Hannah Bork, who's been on the show many times, Larissa. So this is good. This is an amazing thing to know about. Mirabai Davy, Lenore. These are all of our friends.
It's a pretty amazing little thing that we've been invited to, and that we're conspiring to change the world with one ripple at a time. And
I think it's like Eastern Standard Time in that time too, right?
all of the yes. Thank you. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Yes,
So just
which is
having awareness.
9 a.m. is 7 a.m. here. They wanted me to start at 7 a.m. I said, "What? You want a musician to be up at 7 a.m.? I don't think so." And so we rearranged it for me to start at 10 a.m. Mountain. So yeah, but it
Beautiful.
does start earlier. Yes.
Yeah, looking
Well,
forward to it.
Larissa, thank you so much. I always love the opportunity to be in your presence and your wisdom and just your big, beautiful heart. Love you so much.
Thank you, Scott.
It is amazing, Larissa, and what you were saying about Piper. It's amazing when the truth comes in, how much deeper we can go. And I mentioned to myself that I felt sobered by Piper's sharing, and but what it did was just open this bigger place in my capacity to love, and for that I'm so grateful.
And we can only go as high as we go deep.
That's
You
right.
know, like truly, we can only go as high as we go deep, and she took us deep, you know, into that deeper place, into the grief, into the reality of what so many people are facing. And you take that and you go that much higher, and then that sphere, that bubble of light just gets that much bigger because of it. So I'm grateful for just, yeah, all the different threads that came through today is just so powerful. It's such a beautiful community. And Omashar, you know, your music, your commitment to show up every time for Scott, and the community is just incredible. It's just so
Scott's the dude. And what's for dinner tonight, Larissa? I know that you're going to have a meal soon, and I want to be there.
Well, tonight, because of being on here, normally we start earlier. Like we have our dinner like at 6. We start making food together. We have it at 6, and then we meet. So I was fed earlier. I was taken care of, and they're waiting. And I will go and I will go to the
Well,
community.
thank them for allowing you to be present with us.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Mr. Omashar, would you like to share with us a closing song?
I will, and we're going to have the GPT announcements after that. Oh, we'd already done them about Saturday.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, that's right.
Was
We
you. You
are.
were
That's
the
right.
announcement.
I'm so looking forward to Cornflower being with us, dude. He rocks us. So, yes, going home. The song's about going home.
Go home. This song's about going home, about hopes and dreams, the ones that open your eyes, yet you rarely realize what they are doing with you. It's time to look where we're going and choose our destiny. It's our attitude in life that leaves us open to all kinds of things. This is the journey that you take on your own. There are others with you. Do it all alone. All you need is courage. Spirit is with you and the outcome is assured, so there's no need to worry, no reason for fear. We will feel much lighter. Use what you know well, share it amongst your friends. I can't conceive of a world where there's no feeling at all, no time for greater things. Only one thing to say, and that's to enjoy yourself. There's no one better than you to do what you do, to go for anything. This is the journey that you take on your own. There are others going with you, yet you do it all alone. All you need is courage. Spirit is with you and the outcome is assured, so there's no need to worry, no reason for fear. You will feel much lighter.
Beautiful. Let's go to gallery view one last time. Thanking Omashar, thanking Larisa, Desiree, Diara, Piper, Connie, Ashleah, Lorianne, all of you who have contributed. And there is actually one more announcement, just a reminder to be with Omashar and Mark Danisovsky in San Diego. They are going to be, of course, we've got the big event happening on September 27th and 28th, but we also have on Monday, the 29th, a concert with Mark and Omashar and friends. So coming on down to San Diego, that's going to be really, really a very, very special opportunity. Mark or Omashar, anything you want to add about that?
Not really. I'm still getting over messing up the chorus in the last song. So it's funny that I'm getting more and more present each time. So it's kind of like things happen to rock your world, and how much of you is present so that it doesn't really matter. You just stay centered and you just keep coming back to the center. And so the whole thing with the concert with Mark at Center for Spiritual Living, Vision Center for Spiritual Living in San Diego, is we're just going to create a container in which there's no applause, there's nothing, just a building of energy until the very end. And then my hope is that we can create a circle, face the world, send the energy we have created, ripple it around the world back to ourselves. And so that's my take on accessing the Sacred Heart through music on that evening. So that is kind of it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Mark, for making it happen. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful. There's Mark. I'll bring him up for a moment.
I know he's
like that good-looking man. Mark, you need to unmute if you want us to hear what you're saying.
Got it. So on the brochure that you showed, there is a link there to get online tickets. We will be live streaming it. It was just up there. Scott just showed it.
It's up there now. There's the QR code down the bottom left. Do the camera thing, grab that, and yes, Mark, isn't it?
Right. So anyway, I've been the musical director at Vision for 18 years, although I'm going to become a cactus hugger in Arizona and Tucson starting in February. Getting out of the Southern California vibe. So this is, but Vision, we do great live streaming. It's a beautiful space. It holds 200 people if you're able to be there. But also the live streaming will be really great. And Larisa inspired me. There was a piece that I wrote when I was heavily meditating at Self-Realization Fellowship. I wrote a piece called Leucadia, which interpolates one of Yogananda's cosmic chants. So, but it'll be quite a thing. It'll be quite a thing. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep people from applauding, though. I must say that's like
I know.
It's like hurting cats.
I'm allowed to have a dream.
Yes. Yeah. But so anyway, it'll be a beautiful event. I play the piano. I've worked in theater for 40 years. And I've been the accordion soloist with the San Diego Symphony for 25 years. And although I'm not necessarily dedicated exclusively to spiritual musical pursuits, my goal when I'm playing with the symphony or I'm playing a theater show is to incorporate as much of that energy into this unexpected sort of missionary role, So if I'm playing something mundane, I always try to infuse it with a spiritual subtext.
So in the shot, in the chat, excuse me, not the shot, at CH instead of SH, whatever, there's a question, if they go to Vision CSL,
yes,
rather than using the QR code, because that still freaks people out. And so
yes, there will be a link there. I'm not.
So what is the website?
It's visioncsl.org, I think.
Okay.
But it's Vision Center for Spiritual Living in San Diego, so you'll be able to find it online if you just do a Google search for that. But it'll be a big deal. It'll be a beautiful event. The sound will be amazing, I assure you. You will hear Omashar in the best possible light imaginable.
Wow,
that's
I can't wait.
So,
thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Omashar. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to go to gallery view one last time. Thank you, everybody. This is a powerful and important show, and I really appreciated everybody who spoke. So much love for Larisa and Piper and all of you. And I hope to see you on Saturday night for our big annual International Peace Show. I don't have a poster yet, but Cornflower and Omashar providing music, and Jayoti Ma, Chief Phil Lane, Louisa Tish, Shauna Blue Star, just an amazing group of peace builders joining us for our annual International Peace Day show. So I hope to see you on Saturday night. Take care, everybody, and have a good evening.